Hi and welcome back. It has been an interesting weather week. Usually what happens for the past couple of days is that it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, we've got blue skies everywhere, and then all of a sudden we get this. There we go. That's melted. Then it becomes blue skies again, and then we get this. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and forego the watering system that I told you about. I still have all the parts, everything is good to go. I just don't want my new equipment to wind up in Oz. But we are going to go ahead and show you the damage that it did. Now I do have figs so far. I got figs coming on. Still need to dig this out and redo it, but there is a lot of damage to the onions. I did have some plants in here. They're gone. Eggplants. I do have some seedlings down here. I'm hoping that they make it. Those are cantaloupe. I've got a whole bunch of pepper seeds here. Okra, because you can see this is not bug damage. This is hail. Along with the hail damage from the corn. I've lost some of my Malamar spinach. And it looks like I've lost 1, 2, possibly 3 tomatoes. And a squash. I've got patty pan squash and summer squash here. This is all hail damage. This is not bug damage. They were gorgeous before that hailstorm. I also have damage to my car. Never got my windshield replaced, so that's a moot point, but I do have dents in my hood that I need to get fixed. All in all, not that bad. The tornado hit a town called Briggs, which is about 30 miles south of here. And one thing about Briggs is that it's all farmland. There are still people living out there, obviously. I hope everybody came out okay. But it's not densely populated. And it was a big tornado. This is what you want? Is this what you want? Yes. 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 She came in all muddy yesterday because it rained, and she likes to dig in mud puddles, but yet she won't take a bath. So we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a classic dish for dinner tonight. It's called a spaghetti bake. I think every family has a version of this. It's basically baked spaghetti. Whether you add meat or not is completely up to you. Only because it, depending on if you want vegetarian or if you want to add sausage, hamburger, any type of meat will work as well. Even tofu will work. I am going to be doing regular spaghetti for the kiddos and a zucchini version for me. So let's get started. We got a pot of water. You do want to season the water generously with salt. Most of that salt is going to be drained out, so you don't have to worry about sodium levels. Let that come to a boil, and then we're going to go ahead and add our spaghetti per instructions. We're going to let this sit for 10 minutes and then drain. Now for the great debate. Do we put it in whole, or do we want to break it up? With a spaghetti bake, it doesn't really matter because you're kind of twice baking this anyway. I have always broken mine because that's what my mom did, because the length of spaghetti does not enter the pot. But lately I've just been doing that. And letting it fold itself. I think I'm getting the hang of this. You learn something every day. It doesn't take that long for it to actually cook and bend. But this is going to boil for about 10 minutes. While that is boiling, you do want to go ahead and cut up your veggies. I've got some onions, bell pepper, and celery in here. We're going to go ahead and fry that up and get it to where it is nice and soft. And then we'll go ahead and put in the sauce and make the sauce with this. The zucchinis, I am going to go ahead and cut up as well. And we're going to go ahead and cut them lengthwise like this, so they kind of, it's more like a zucchini lasagna than anything else, because my pan is a lot smaller. After the pasta is done and you have it drained, you need to rinse it off immediately with cold water. The reason for this is that you want to stop the cooking process. Spaghetti and all other pastas have a tendency to retain heat, and it can turn to mush if you don't cool it off quickly. So go ahead and rinse it off with cold water and leave it to drain. We're going to use a separate pan to make the sauce, only because I don't need any cross-contamination. So if you have any allergies, you want to keep this separate from the pan you just made the noodles in. I can't talk today, can you tell? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and add about 2 tablespoons of oil. Any type of oil that you wish. I'm using regular vegetable oil. You want to go ahead and cook these vegetables to the point to where there's translucent. Here's where you're going to want to add your garlic. So to reiterate, 1 large onion, 4 stalks of celery, 2 bell peppers, garlic. And we're going to set that on medium until it's all cooked. We're going to go ahead and sprinkle this with a little bit of salt, about 1/2 teaspoon. Oregano, about 1 teaspoon. My girl rosemary. About another teaspoon. And we've got all the time in the world for this. About a teaspoon. You want to add your dried herbs now because you want them to waken up with the heat and the moisture from the vegetables. If you want to add paprika here, you can. I'm not going to. I mean, some people do, some people don't. Or some regular black pepper. It's up to you. Okay, so after that is all nice and done, we got 2 pints of tomato sauce. This is the tomato sauce we just did. You can also add mushrooms here to substitute for meat. That's also a good substitution if you don't like tofu. We're just doing veggie tonight. We've had enough meat lately. It's time for the veggie. We're also going to add about a tablespoon of tomato paste, which may be the rest of what I have. Yeah, I need more. Remind me to put that on the shopping list. And then you want to taste for salt. There's a little bit of salt in here, but probably not enough. A little bit more, not too much. Maybe another half a teaspoon. We're going to let this marry for a little bit on low. About 10 minutes. And once that's all married, we can go ahead and add the noodles and zucchini and whatever else we need. I'll go ahead and show you how I do 2 different types of batches whenever it comes to this, because it's going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to just dump the noodles in here. We are going to go ahead and do this one first. Now, I'm not going to put much cheese on mine because I've been having a little bit of an issue with dairy lately. So we'll just go ahead and get that done. Do it lasagna style. And this will last me a couple of days in dinners and lunches. Leftovers are really good. Okay, I'm just going to add just a tiny bit of cheese. So there's mine. Let's go ahead and for this, we are going to go ahead and just dump the spaghetti in here and then dump the sauce in and mix it in the baking dish. And somebody's having a lot of fun out there. Dump the rest of this in. Okay, we are going to go ahead and mix as much as we can. And then we're going to add the cheese on top. And there will always be shredded cheese afterwards, after this does come out. There we go. 350, about 20-25 minutes. There we go. There's the spaghetti. And here's the zucchini. I'm going to go ahead and grate some more cheese on that after it's plated. Now, it does look a little bit dry on top, but it's really not. If you take a look, it's all nice and done and flexible. And it just comes right out. You would serve this with garlic toast. And there's the zucchini. Okay, so that is it for the spaghetti bake. Next week, we're going to be going camping. If anything happens excitingly, I'll go ahead and film that. I'll bring my camera with me. But it is me and Grandpa's 20th anniversary. So we're going to go ahead and celebrate in our own fashion, outdoors and fishing. Because we're those type of people. I've never really liked being indoors. I've always been outdoors. Even as a child, I'd just leave the house. My mother can attest to that. Yes. Yes. I was a wild child. And so was my sister. Hopefully we'll be able to get to the garden. Maybe next week. Definitely the week after all these storms have stopped doing their thing. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you next time.